So you're a good friend of Jorn. You know that I asked Jorn like who's the most interesting person you know, and he mentioned you. So I guess that's a big compliment.
It's a very big compliment. He's probably he definitely is the most interesting person I know. So
Oh wow.
right back at him.
Very cool. Elliot, thank you for being here, man. I'm really curious about your story, about who you are, what you do. So first of all, thank you.
No, my pleasure for being here. I'm looking forward to having a conversation and seeing where it goes.
All right, let's dive straight into it. So Elliot, what's your story, man? Because I've been doing a bit of research on you, and you got a quite impressive Instagram bio. But apart from that, I don't know a lot about you yet. So, what's your entrepreneurial story and how did it start?
Okay. Well, I've been in business now. I'm 26 years old, turned 26 last week, and
Nice.
I basically have been in business for 11 years. So I started when I was 15,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's been a crazy sort of last 11 years, which has been good fun.
Wait, you started
So
at 15. So what was that like? What
yes,
what type of crazy hustle were you doing when you were 15?
well, I came out of school, didn't really do much at school because I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and so as a result, I ended up just flunking a lot of school, which was a story in itself, but we'd probably be here for 6 hours if I went through all that one by one. But yeah, long story short, I left school at like 15 and I took myself off to this place in the UK called Stoke, which I grew up in a place called Leeds, which is kind of
Hmm.
like a small city in the UK near Manchester.
Yeah, yeah.
And I took myself off to Stoke, which is kind of like somewhere in the UK. I'm not very good at geography. And and I was like, there's two things that's going to happen here, right? The first thing is like if I don't get my act together, like I'm going to end up going to prison or something, man. Like I have literally no direction here, right? I had no
You were on a
grades hardly.
bad path.
Yeah, going down a bad path, and so I had to find my mojo or my thing that like my flame, my purpose, right? And so I
Hmm.
found that in technology. And I
Hmm.
ended up doing an advanced diploma, which is like an equivalent of an A level or two A levels in Stoke College, which ended up taking, it should have taken 2 years, but it took me 6 weeks to complete it, which was nuts because I was like, oh my God, on one hand, you've got this kid who just didn't want to go to school and was like really, really like naughty and mischievous. And then on the other hand, when it's on his own terms, like he can go to an open college and just complete this in 6 weeks, right? Which is like
That's
nuts.
insane. Yeah.
So like, it was a 2 year syllabus, 2 year course, and it took me 6 weeks. That was in ICT and telecommunications principles. And so that was where I found my mojo, man. It was like, I want to do technology. And so
Hmm.
I basically started learning everything I could about technology. So I was learning everything about blockchain, cloud systems. At the time, I didn't even look at AI, which is ultimately the kind of the industry I'm in right now. It was all kind
Yeah.
of blockchain and technology and such. And like I wasn't really on the crypto side as much. I was more on the what is this technology? And so I was like helping, big organizations understand what blockchain was, what consensus mechanisms are. I was coding things. I was just adding as much value as I could. And by the way, I was like 16 at this time. So I was like pretty
It's
much doing
crazy.
anything I could. I had no money. I was like doing anything I could to try and like make some money, right? I had no
Yeah.
business knowledge or anything. And so as a result, I ended up kind of having to learn business like from the ground up. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I ended up building a platform which was helping enterprises and also like the average like small business owner learn and understand what blockchain was and how it differentiates from crypto and how crypto works and all that kind of stuff. And as a result, I ended up with 5,000 paying members on the platform by 2020,
Wow.
and we teach like 200 corporates. It was crazy. And I had like 1,000 educational videos on the platform. And I ended up selling the business when I was 20. So that was like five
Wow.
years. Yeah. So it was like 5 years of like grind, had no idea what I was doing in business. It's just like brute force. And by the way, like the exit wasn't like absolutely massive. It was like I was like saying like if I was a multi-millionaire at like 20, like it was just like I had a lot of IP on the system.
Yeah.
So that was worth something. So I sold the platform basically.
It was like your
And
first fuck you money where you got like the
yeah,
first bag in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where I like went to. I went to London. I was like spending money on parties, girls, everything. Like I was spending like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and so I kind of started like had a taste of the high life, but that was like a little bit like it was poisonous, right? Because I had
Hmm.
like a lot for my age, multi six figures or whatever. And like I was just spending thousands of dollars. I was partying all the time and lost all purpose, and
Yeah. It's exactly what I wanted to
I'm
say. Like,
diagnosed with ADHD, so I'm like, I just talk and I just like move and make shit happen, and I just lost my mind.
yeah. Yeah. Right. Crazy story. Also, the fact that you like had a community before it was trending, because now it's all about communities these days and a platform bringing people together about a topic, and you were just doing that way before
Yeah,
it was popular, and that's
yeah. I
really
mean,
interesting.
I had a really profitable system. It was making a lot of money for my age.
Hmm.
And yeah, I went to London, and then it was 2021, and like I lost all purpose, and so like I had to start another business. So I started
How did you?
RayneAI.com.
Ah, okay. So that was my next question. Like, how did you reclaim your purpose?
Yeah. So
So what
it took
happened?
me
Get
six
me
months.
through that. Like, yeah, what
Yeah.
happened? Like, you're in
It
the
took me
bad
6 months.
path. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me 6 months to find my mojo again. And so
Yeah.
I went back into tech because that's all I've ever known. And I built a team of engineers, AI engineers.
All right.
And with anything, any technology, before you can sort of go out and help people do it, you've got to be able to build it and understand it. So that's the first base we took. We were building, and we still do build AI applications for companies.
Hmm.
And we did that for 2 years. We've been doing that for the last 5 years. And like 2 years into our journey at like 2023 time, we started taking the products that we'd built for corporates and making them into products that people could either use as a software or just buy as like an in the box solution.
So you
Um,
first started a bit custom, and then you made it like a product that you could resell.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And so we've got 7 SaaSes right now. We've got
Wow,
like I think we've got a few thousand people on all the SaaSes across all the portfolio.
that's
We've got
insane.
four products that were built for corporates that we charge them, 30, 40 grand for, that we can now give to customers for like 5 grand because they were built in a fashion where we could just copy and paste them.
Amazing.
So they're like outreach products, which people can use AI outreach agents. They're content systems, so people can build content agents that will create mass content online for them while they sleep. We've got another one which is a mass creative for paid ads, so they can create creative graphics to put as many creative assets into Facebook and Google as possible to sell the paid ads. And then we've got a voice AI system where they can create an AI receptionist that answers the phone for them 24 hours a day and takes leads. So that's pretty much the business right now, man. Like everything is derived from the fact that we build custom AI softwares, and we found our niche in like the two verticals of how do you save money with AI or how do you make money with AI. And we have products or custom builds for both of those things. And
Gotcha.
this business is bigger than the one that I sold already. We're 5 years in, which is kind of, on track. And
Yeah.
the next revenue target is 100 million, man. And that's the goal.
Nice, nice goal, nice goal. So when did you found that company? Because you were like 2021, you hit rock bottom, you lost your purpose, and then you found the AI company. But I guess that was
Yeah.
way before the AI trend that we are seeing right now.
Yeah, it was. So I always say something like I was very, very early to blockchain, like ridiculously early. Like I
Yeah.
made a lot of very smart moves. But
Yeah.
like I always feel like I was very late to AI, even though I wasn't. I was in AI from
No.
2021, right? Like I sold
Wow.
my business in December of 2020. That's where I sold the first business, December 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't found the new company until 2021. So it's like
Mm.
4 or 5 years, coming up to 5 years. So yeah,
And
that's
how did
kind of
you start? Because you were selling it to the bigger corporates. Like,
yeah,
how does a young guy, 21-year-old, start with doing that? Like, you just write like to Coca-Cola and say, "Hey, let me
yeah.
build you an AI," or what do you do?
Well, when we started like the blockchain company, it wasn't building stuff for them, so it was a lot easier. It was just information.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was just doing cold, honestly, I was doing cold outreach. And when I say corporates at that time, it wasn't like your Googles and things like that. It was very hard for me to get in there. But it was
Yeah.
like your bigger companies, your sort of 10 to 200 million revenue or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we also had smaller companies as well, like 1 million to 3 million revenues. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, most of the time, the big ones we landed from cold email and
Mm-hmm.
networking.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to like networking events and like they call it BNI and stuff like that. I used to go to that. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to go
I
to
know
that.
what that
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
I used to go to all that when I was like 17, and I was like, "Who's this little kid that's just rocking up?"
Yeah.
But I did all that and earned my stripes all that way. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. And then we went online. I started running paid ads, and it kind of just added flame to the fire there. But we never got into any like big Googles or anything like Rayne AI right
Yeah.
now, my current company. Like
Yeah.
we have worked with like British Telecoms, we've worked with Oracle, like we have worked with big companies, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
in the previous business, we didn't as much. But I had to learn the way of doing that as such.
That's crazy, man. That's really cool. I also read that you were like an investor in many companies. Like, how does
Yeah,
that relate to what you're doing right now?
yeah. So I mean, I've got 62 portfolio companies right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
noticed. It's
So I
quite
have
an impressive
62.
number.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I just took one with my best friend, Jon. I've just invested in his company.
With the
So
peptides?
yes, sir.
Ah, cool. Really
So
cool.
we're probably going to have to cut this out of the end thing if it comes live
No worries.
before the announcement. But yes, I
Yeah,
have I have invested in Jon's business,
yeah.
and I'll be coming on as one of the directors, which is very fun.
Yeah, it looks
And
like a
there'll be a lot
very
more.
promising product as well. He's been talking about it for a couple months to me, and it looks really, really promising.
It's amazing. It's my first rendezvous in health and wellness, but yeah, that's my 62nd. I was on 61 before. I vowed I wasn't going to do any more this year, but when it's your best friend, you just gotta, and you see it popping off, you gotta make stuff happen with them,
You gotta
So
get his back, yeah.
um, yeah, but before I had money, or like before I had money to invest, in companies like I kind of do nowadays, like I would do it like to get portfolio companies. The first portfolio company I ever had wasn't an exchange of cash. It was
Hmm.
an exchange of services with a direct like value of cash, right? So I might go into a company, I might say, hey, like, if they're small enough, I might say, hey, like, we'll give you a year's worth of free development if you give us, 5% of the company. And this was like
Yeah,
early
yeah,
stage companies, yeah. And
yeah. Hmm.
so like we'd lay out a roadmap, all the things we're going to develop for them, and then we'd attribute that to a financial value, and then that would work out to the valuation of the company, and then we would take an equity stake. So that's what
Hmm.
we did to start. And then once the cash sort of started piling in, I started writing small checks and having a bit of fun that way. But that's a main part of the strategy for me. Like, if a business is not ready to work with Rayne AI, then if they're a promising business, I'll always look at creative solutions that we can work with them. And that started out as just something that was like a bit of fun, and now having 62 portfolio companies, it's no joke. And I think once once I get to 100, we're gonna have to register as like a venture capital firm as well, which would be
Yeah,
brilliant.
of course. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And has it always been your philosophy to be like an investor? Because I've been going through different phases in my life. And we have some similarities. And it's very funny. I wanted to tell you, like, my first company was also a blockchain company, which I also had my first exit with. So it's very funny. But then I made marketing agency, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I figured out that if you really want to get wealthy, you should become an investor. But it required me some time to learn that lesson. But how did you learn that lesson?
Yeah, so I pretty much learned that lesson from Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah,
Same for me. Cash
like
flow quadrant.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
understanding how you could build out, be an employee, then be an investor and a
Self-employed,
business owner. Yeah,
business
yeah,
owner. Yeah.
yeah.
So
There's
how
a
important? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, there's a million and one different ways it's said, but I think that's the best way that's been said as a thesis.
hmm hmm So you know that how important is your time to you? Because it looks like you have a lot of projects going on, but you don't feel, at least from what I know now, you don't feel like a stressed person that has like 62 companies and 100 things to do at the same time. So how do you manage that, and how do you manage your time?
Well, I'm a systems guy, right? So I build. That's what I do day to day. So if I wasn't a modular systems guy in my brain, then I definitely would not be in a technology business, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it comes down to I'm very well under, very like well under pressure. Yawn, and my friends will tell you like I not much phases me, right? And
Mm,
so risk has always been a part of my makeup as well. Being diagnosed with ADHD, I
yeah.
love it, right? Now, in answer to your question, I think of everything like a compartmentalization of my focus into where it should be. And if it doesn't come in my quadrant of focus, then I don't pay any energy to it, right? So my area of focus is relationships, health, wealth, not status, right? So they're the three things: relationships, health, wealth. Yeah, because I
hmm
don't give a shit about status. Most people care most about status, which is why they don't take the first leap.
Yeah.
So, by the way, until I, met, like, for example, Yarn and people in my network, my focus was only wealth. Like, I had no care about my health. Like, I turned up to
And
Medellin
fuck
with,
relationships.
yeah, yeah, for relationships. I was just having fun, and I turned up to Medellin. I was like stick man, like I was working
Stick
24/7,
man.
never eating. Like they used to call me a little pipe cleaner because I was so skinny. Yeah, little
Yeah.
pipe cleaner. You could
That's
put
not
me
a
down a
nickname you
chimney.
like.
Yeah, put me down a chimney. But anyway, now like I like to think I've put a little bit more weight on and value my health more, which is has been sort of revolutionary for me. So the way that I break that down, so that's my first like philosophy is those three things that I focus on, those three areas:
Yeah.
health, wealth,
Yeah.
relationships. Right?
hmm
Now, I believe in order to do relationships and health correctly, you need to focus on wealth. Why? Because I can get the best health if I have the best wealth. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't need to focus on relationships with other women or, my relationship with my family is the most important thing to me and my friends, right? Which doesn't require wealth, by the way, right? But
hmm
relationships with, like women and things like that, like I honestly, they're a distraction. So I just put them to the side and it's like, like they don't really give me much value a lot of the time. It's like, okay, I can buy whatever I want. I can if I really want things to be done, I'll get them done, right? And like I live in Medellin, man. Like it's full of beautiful women. The women
Yeah.
here are like the best in the world, right?
Yeah, Jorn came to
On
Medellin for that reason. He
and so
already had a
like
pretty decent life.
I meet people and they're like, and the women are like, I want a guy to be this way, I want a guy to be that way, and it's like, well, the guys that you actually want don't see any value in you at all, right?
Mm,
Because they think because they got beauty and sex, like
hmm
that is the thing that people will dive on, right? And
mm,
simps will do that. But I just see straight through it. And every successful man that I've met just also sees straight through it, right? And especially
Mm,
living in Medellin, I walk 10 blocks down the street and meet a supermodel,
mm.
organically as well, So anyway, I'm going off track there, but the point is, I put all my attention into wealth building, right? And of course, my
Yeah.
relationship with my family and friends.
Hmm.
And so that automatically takes off that's like 80% of the struggle anyway. Okay, it's like the clearing the noise. And so if I focus all my attention on building wealth, I then break it down to what are the ways you can build wealth. Okay, well, I've got a business and an offer, so there's only really three things that I need to do in order to grow my business: outreach, paid ads, and content. Right?
Hmm.
They're the
Hmm.
only three things you can do to make money in your business. All right.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, well, if that's my objective is make more money, then everything else is noise. Right. And so
Mm.
every single time I listen to someone's problem or I listen to my own problem, I break it down to a philosophy. It's like, what do you want? I want to make more money. Okay, well, do this, right? Okay, and then if I'm flustered and I'm like, why am I flustered? Then if I want to make more money, I do it this way. If I want to save more money, I do it this way. Okay. And so that's pretty much been my way of like breaking things down. And like I'm also very clear if I work with a business, right? If I have 62 of them and I have my own business, I'm very clear on day one what is my remit, right? Like what can you expect from me? And like if I work with a business that tells me to do something else, I'm gonna tell them I'm not gonna do it. But then if I tell them my remit, then I'm pretty much doing the same thing in every business, right? I'm
Hmm.
going in, I'm identifying what they want, which is usually to make more money with AI. I'm implementing three systems which appease outreach, content, and paid ads. And then I move into the next one, like, and it's the same thing. And so like there's no real stress needed with it because it's like just doing step 1 to 100 times the same thing every time.
Yeah, you
Um,
systemized it all.
exactly, yeah. And so that's like, that's how I managed to clear through the noise. And also like, you know, sitting down on my desk every day. It's like most people sit on the desk and they like don't know what to focus on. And I have this like everything I break down to is philosophy, right? I have this thing, it's called RGA, revenue generating activity. And
Yeah.
when I sit down in the on the desk, the first 4 hours every day is RGA. How can we make more money, right? And after that,
Hmm.
it is whatever else that I want to
Yeah.
talk, I want to do that day. But as long as I have my first 4 hours of uninterrupted RGA, then I'm happy for the day.
How many hours a day do you work?
Well, last week none because I had food poisoning all week.
I saw it
So
that you were
normally
sick. Yeah.
I was
It
so
happened in
sick.
Medellin?
Well, I was away, like in a place called Guatapé, which is just down the road.
Okay.
It's like 2 hours down the road, and I must have eaten something, and it was just like, yeah, horrendous. Anyway,
Mm.
but usually I have this again a philosophy where Monday to Wednesday until I get to hump day, it is literally every single day I wake. I'm up at 7. I walk the dog. I'm back to the desk for 8:30 after I've eaten the breakfast and whatnot, and then I will literally work until 10 p.m. every day, every single day until
Wow.
until Wednesday. So I'll do 14
Uh,
hours every first 3 days of the week. That's
that's spicy.
non-negotiable. Yeah, it's very spicy, but I love it. Um, and and then on Thursday and Friday, I am available to the world. Not necessarily meaning that people have access to me, but I will book dinners on Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I will not book anything on an evening Monday to Friday and Monday to Wednesday. And I
Mm.
will also allow people to book into my calendar on only Thursday. And then, yeah, I have more of a lax schedule. I still work 12 hours minimum on those days. It's just less of a rigid routine, more of like thinking.
Mm. Wow. That sounds like an insane drive. Um, do you believe that if you wouldn't be diagnosed with HAD, if you wouldn't have had HAD, that you would be so successful as you are right now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's something that like the human body has an ability to go as far as you can comprehend in your mind, I believe,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And so most people burn out because they haven't started and built up the reps, right?
Hmm.
Now, the reason why someone without ADHD would be able to do a 14 or a 15 hours day is that they've gone from like 2 hours of focus to 3 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours and so on and so forth. And over the years, they've built that up, right? Whereas when you have ADHD, because your dopamine is very much deregulated,
Yeah.
you're able to like focus on things that help you produce more, yeah, and you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But that also has a contrary effect because if you don't like something, you will pay no attention to it, right? And
Hmm.
so that's why, like, I have a very small amount of friends and we go very deep together. But
Hmm.
anyone else, honestly, I don't really give a fuck about them. You know,
Hmm.
I don't care about them
Couldn't
unless they
care
give
less.
me value. Like, unless they show me upfront value. Like, I know I can do a lot more for them than they can do for me. You know, that sounds
Yeah.
really bad, but like, I just want deep relationships where there's equal value insertion, right?
Yeah.
Not the relationships I had when I first moved to London and was it, in and around London where it was like, take from Elliott and it's all fake because I learned all that. So I just want deep relationships where there's equal value insertion at both sides. And so the point I'm getting at here is like ADHD people that can hyper focus on these things can do that from day one, right? So if I absolutely love going to the gym and I have nothing else in my life to do, then I can literally sit there. Not that it's the right thing to do. I can literally go to the gym 6 hours, 7 hours a day, right? I don't do that, but like I could if that was what I hyper focused on, yeah. Or if I
Hmm.
got focused, if I was a watchmaker and I was like building watches and things, like I could sit there and do something what people were thought were incredibly boring for that amount of time.
Hmm.
And it was the same thing with me with business. The first time I sat down and started writing essays, which I used to write 100,000 word character essays every day and night, about tech when I was 15 and 16, every single day. I can type like without looking, with my eyes closed, with like ridiculous amounts of speed, without
Just an essay for fun.
for fun. I did it every day for 6 months. I did it when I
You
was 15, and
just
I was writing.
for fun because you like to do that.
Yeah, I was learning. So what I would do is I would sit down at the desk like 6 a.m. I would write all day about blockchain when I was 15. All day. I would print it off, read it before I went to bed, sleep, read it the next morning, and then write another one. I did that every single day, 7 days a week, every single day. And like
Okay.
that's the
Yeah.
difference, right? Because it
Yeah.
wasn't that I had to build. It wasn't. I didn't have to build my reps. It was just on day one I sat down and I was able to sit down for 12 hours
You
and
were
not
like,
move.
yeah,
Yeah.
locked in from the first moment.
Yes, and by the way, that was very challenging because my family didn't know I had that neurodivergence at the time, and neither did I. I got diagnosed when
Hmm.
I was 17. So like
Yeah.
me ignoring every single thing that anyone said and just not being present was not a nice thing for everyone involved, you know.
Yeah.
But like it was just how I am, you know. If I've got a project that needs to be done, it gets done, you know.
That's an interesting topic. Um, do you feel that it has helped you being diagnosed, or would it have made a difference if you were never diagnosed and you just thought like, yeah, I'm a weird guy?
It's helped me. It's helped me
Yeah.
absolutely like leaps and bounds. I don't take medication for it or anything, but like it's the understanding. Like, by the way, I had for the first 5 years of my business world journey, I had a horrendous relationship with my family, right? Like,
All right.
it,
Okay.
and the reason why that was is because I had anger inside of me. Because you can think
Hmm.
about it like this, right? When you speak, they call it having an ADHD episode, right? This is like the brand they call it. It's where you
Ah.
speak to someone and they'll just blow up for like the weirdest, strangest thing you'll think about. Like I would do that like all the time at that point. I was like, someone would just like say to me, "Oh, Elliot, can you do this?" I like, and like, because my brain's like this. But I didn't know until I was 17. Like, and it even goes before that. Like at school, like I had behavioral mentor. I wasn't allowed to all the lessons. I had to report into her every day because I was just so angry and just like so
Yeah.
nuts. Didn't care and like. and so it's really helped me because not only has it helped me with my relationship with my family because they understand how I am, it's
Hmm.
also helped me to realize that like the triggers, right? Because all an episode is a pent up piece, a pent up like emotion or like just lack of relaxation that comes
Yeah,
out all at once. And
yeah,
so like I can recognize those triggers, and if I feel that trigger like I'm going to explode, like I've got a little
yeah,
puppy at the minute, right? I got a little
yeah.
puppy and I love her to bits, but I was sick last week, and when you're sick you just want to lay in bed and you don't want to play fetch all day, right? And and so it's like, but I can recognize when I'm feeling like that, and I'll just,
Yeah, yeah,
go take myself to another room, go for a sleep, go for a run or whatever. Put her in the room like last week, like I put her in a bedroom. She goes to sleep for an hour, and then I go to sleep, and then all good, But usually, if I'm building it all up, I'll go for a run, and I'll just run, just continue 2 hours, just go, and it like it's the best form of therapy for me.
yeah.
But I didn't know all that when I was younger, right? So it was
No,
like,
yeah,
yeah, I've got a broken knuckle in my right hand because I punched through one of the walls, and I've smashed many things in the house, and
yeah.
it was nuts. But that
You
relationship I
need
had with my
that.
parents was bad. Yeah,
Yeah, you need that outlet because you got like so much energy inside of you, and you need something to channel it. And if you don't channel it, you become dangerous to your environment because you're just like you have too much
yeah,
energy inside.
yeah, and like now having that focus, it just it takes my energy, and it's so good. Like because I put it all into this one thing of like, how can I build something that is nuts? And by the way, when you think about this, when I sold the business and I went on this tear for 6 months where I was just drinking the whole time,
Hmm.
like you got to think about like the way that is, right? Like I lost purpose, and I lost where my energy was going, so I had to drive it somewhere else. So it was like go full throttle into drinking alcohol and just partying and being with
Yeah,
girls and whatnot.
that became your
So
outlet.
like exactly, and that was my outlet. So like this is why I believe I'm always going to have an outlet to keep me sane. It's just the
Yeah,
difference is right now I build everything from love. I used to build it trying to like prove external people wrong, and it's like anger. But
yeah,
like now it's like I'm very happy. I can deal with stress. Like it doesn't affect me, and everything I do is just from love. And if it's not serving me, if the relationship's not serving me, if the person coming into my life is not serving me, I have absolutely no time for them. Like I'll meet people, the first 10 seconds they'll be speaking, and like I'll shut off from them. Like I will never speak to them again. It's like, so I'm just like, that you're just a wanker. I just don't want to speak to you. You know what I mean? Equally, I have a woman approach me or whatever in the street, and she'll talk to me, and like I'm just looking at it and thinking, you are the most boring fucking person I've ever met in my life. The only thing you have is beauty, and I see completely past that. So with that, I just,
you have no
yeah,
chill.
yeah, later, bye. And that's
Um,
most men's dream. But like for me, like honestly, like when you start looking at the value people bring into your life and realize that a lot of the time there's just shit all value, then that's both
mm,
for men and women. Then you just start to like only focus on the ones that do give you value and you strengthen your relationships that way.
oh, interesting. I'm very happy you're still on the podcast, by the way. That's a good
Yeah.
sign. But what I wanted to ask, you said something really interesting, is that you made the switch from doing stuff from this place of proving things to the world to love, to building things out of love. And I think that's a very interesting shift. And I myself went through something similar because I also had quite a tough childhood, definitely on school. I hated every day of school. And I think, yeah, we're in a similar spot there. And I think, and I only realized this later on, that I started my entrepreneurial journey because I wanted to have a big fuck you for the rest of the world. Like, look what I can do. Look who I am. Look what you thought you doubted me, doubt me now. That was like my thing. But then I figured out once I had some success, like, this is not the right way. This cannot be the purpose. But it's hard to make that switch. How did you make that switch?
Yeah, it was unexpected. Like um, until I like started making real money, it was really challenging for me. because I
Mm.
kind of did have to prove everyone wrong to stop feeling that way. It's weird. But like the thing that stopped me from like building from a place of anger was like I just bought a new car and like it's nuts. Like honestly, I just bought a new car. And by the way, I don't drive now because I crashed it. I've crashed like five times in
What
my
car
life.
did you buy?
I bought a new Range Rover at the time.
Nice.
But like I've had other cars and whatnot and driven, whatnot and driven everything and had fun. But like this particular car I'd got and I went to to see my parents and they're like, look, we know you can do it. We believe in you. I was like, I absolutely lost my shit and just broke down. I was like, oh my God, like why have I been doing all this from like anger? And like ever since that day, it was from love. Like ever since that day, I said to myself, I cannot spend another day building from a bad place. And
That's
and
amazing.
also, by the way, that all helped me be and have the emotional intelligence that I have today. Right, I'm a very one decibel person. Like you won't know whether I'm sad or happy, which is not a good thing, but it's also a good thing for my emotional regulation. Like I don't have these big up and down like things that I used to have, but like that day helped me so much because I stopped building from a reactive state. It was all
Yeah.
proactive. How could I do this from love? And honestly, that's why now, like everything I do is like, does it align with my health, wealth, my relationships, and love? If it doesn't, then it doesn't have any time in my life.
Amazing. Yeah, I completely understand that. So if I were to ask, like, what's your why? Like, what keeps you going? What's your drive? What do you want to achieve? You mentioned 100 million. Okay, that's a goal, but what's your deeper why behind that?
Yeah. So my why, like, I suppose like there's two, right? There's business and there's personal. Yeah. Like for me, I sincerely believe. I mean, this year, my objective is to help over 200,000 businesses add AI into their business. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's my why business, right? That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I believe, and this is again a deeper why, I believe no business is immune from AI. Every single business, whether you're brick and mortar, whether you're, an online business, like you should be using AI, whether it's before the fact work or during your actual fulfillment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people, and I'm just writing a book at the minute, and like in that book, I basically say to people like, look, you're either using AI or you're just a massive fucking like procrastinator. Like people
Mm-hmm.
saying like AI is not for me is just the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's like saying the internet's
Um,
not for me.
yeah, exactly. It's like saying I don't need a laptop to run a business. Right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you just do it off your phone. You can, but like you'd still need a laptop to do certain shit.
probably. Yeah.
So that's my why, and then my why from a business side of things. Like I can, much like I was part of the early pioneering of blockchain. I want to be part of this next phase and pioneering of AI in
Mm-hmm.
business. And then from a family side of things, I have a why where of course every single person in my family doesn't work and things like that, and also like not necessarily doesn't work because by the way I could have done that a long time ago, right? Like I could have done that a long time ago, but it's like I want them to work on things they only want to work on. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if we sat at home and did nothing the whole time, we would go all crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a plan that doesn't just encapsulate one or two people from my family. It encapsulates property because my family are like some of my family are in the trade, my immediate family. So they're builders, carpenters, and things like that. Dad's in technology and corporate, and my mum is just amazing, bless her, and she just yeah, is the thing. Yeah,
Amazing.
and yeah, and I've got a plan for all of them, which I've said to them, look, like I could have if I wanted to do it in dribs and drabs, like I could have done it in dribs and drabs years ago, but the plan involves purchase of property, purchase of businesses, and I want to do that so everyone has their own mojo. in the life, which would be like
Yeah.
whether it be like owning a carpentry business for one of my brothers, or owning a properties and building and skyscrapers and stuff for my other brother, and then my dad who's in corporate in big corporate companies, like having him run like be the CEO of like a comms company that I own, so there's a great big plan that is much bigger than just saying, hey, you just retired, like which a lot of people do,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm very much biding my time, because I want to make that purpose driven, so that it makes sense for everybody to do it, and it has longevity to it. So that's my wife and my family side of things. It's not a shallow one like my family and my wife. It's like generally an actual plan to do that, which will take time.
That's an amazing goal, man. So you want to take care of your family and do it in a way that they're able to find their own purpose.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that everything, and like, if I can't define something with a plan and with a philosophy, then it doesn't exist. It's just a fugazi in the air, right?
Yeah.
So, as I said to you, like, if I just said to you, oh yeah, my why is my family, like everyone fucking says, like,
Yeah.
but what does that mean, right? What
Exactly.
what 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 steps are you going to take to actually achieve that, and what does that look like? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where most people like will just say, "Oh yeah, just all retired doing nothing." But like, you don't think of the fundamental impacts that has on a person. Like, I've got brothers that are 17 and 18, and I've got one that's 22. I just said to them, "Right, guys, you're fucking retired now for the rest of your life." They would lose
Yeah.
their shit, right? And
Have
they'd probably end
fun.
up like drinking, drugs, all this sort of stuff. So you gotta think deeper about that stuff, and have a like an actual plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Will you do you have a dream of one day starting your own family?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I do.
You're pretty young
I'm
still.
very
You're 27 right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've got my little dog. So I'm happy with
Yeah.
that for now. My
That's a
little
good
my little
start.
dog. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good start.
She's great. She's a bundle of joy. She just loves me to. It's great. I finish my meetings. She knows, and she'll go run off for the bone. I'll throw the bone for 20 minutes, and then she falls asleep. It's great. She
It's
knows.
amazing. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I do. I do. By the way, I'm not anti-marriage, but I don't think it's going to be a route for me.
Okay.
I think that there is, but this may change, right? I'm 26 at the end
Hmm.
of the day. Like,
Hmm.
and I also look at things literally from a value side of things, right? And of course, like if I were to marry a woman, what kind of value would she have to bring to me other than emotional connection?
Yeah, we're
Like
talking about it. Like, yeah, yeah, you have beauty, you have sex, but I wanted to
yeah,
ask you, like, yeah, what does a high value woman look like to you? What does she have to bring to your life?
I don't think it fucking exists. I don't think it
No?
exists. No, no, I don't. I don't. Honestly,
Why not? You don't
I
think a
just
high value woman exists?
I just reject the notion altogether. I think you either
Okay.
have a loving, supportive woman that's valuable to her husband, but the notion of a high value woman is bullshit, right? Because you have masculinity and femininity. If a woman wants
Hmm.
to be high value, right, then she has to tap into her masculinity
Masculine.
and become a really
Yeah.
masculine woman. But if I want to be with a woman who raises my children and has value to me, that's a different story, right? Very different story, because she has value to me, but she's not necessarily to the world a high value woman. It's all fucking bullshit, right? It's bullshit. So like, yes, that is they can have value, but in different ways, I believe. And it probably get like this might get clipped, and like everyone's like Elliott hates women, but no, it's not true.
Uh,
Like at the end of the day, like I just think that the roles are served in different ways, and
mm,
like if I'm gonna marry a woman, then what I'm saying is she has to bring more than beauty and sex to the relationship, because
mhm.
I can walk down the street and get that in 5 minutes here, like
Yeah, yeah,
easily.
yeah.
And so, like that comes with emotional connection, which is very high value for a woman to have in a relationship, and
Yeah,
also, the ability to raise children is also an important thing, right? Because I can outsource the cleaning, the cooking, all that shit, like maid shit, like it,
yeah.
it's like fucking $500 a month for everything, right? It's not expensive. So like
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna settle with a woman, she has to bring to me something that I can't already find in myself. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
yet to find a woman that's like being able to do that. And when I do that, I'll marry her. Like I'll be with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will like, but again, I look at it as a strategy as well, right? At the end of the day, like I have assets that I've built before a woman's come into my life, and you can
Mm-hmm.
bet your bottom dollar those assets will be protected with the highest degree of security the moment I go into a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And that'll be through offshore structures, foundations, trusts, uh, immutable
Yeah.
banks that the woman will have absolutely zero access to. And that sounds really bad, but that is like if a woman comes into my life and we're building together, we build from the point of coming together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
everything is ours from there on. Right. But before
Mm-hmm.
that, it's fair game. Like I've done the 15 hours, I've done the $100,000 page essays. And that is no person or no partner has stopped me from sorry, has helped me build that. Right. And that's
Yeah.
just it's a different story, by the way, if you're nothing and you meet a woman and you build everything together. Completely
Yeah.
different story. Then
Yeah.
everything is yours. Everything is yours.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I'm at a spot right now where no value, no time. If someone has no value, they get none of my time. That's it.
I agree with you on many points. I definitely do. So if I would ask you, like, do you want a cheerleader or another quarterback in your team? Well, your answer would be
None.
you don't want a cheerleader neither? No? You don't think that a great woman would be like supportive of your mission and cheer you on?
I
Or
don't think I understood the analogy.
okay, so like it's something that Alex Hormozy often says. Like, do you want
Yeah,
like a good wife to be like a cheerleader? But he believes that a good wife would be like just a quarterback in your team. And I
right.
disagree with him on that. And I think
Yeah,
you do too. But I want to know
yeah.
your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, so I would say a cheerleader. I'd say making life
Yeah.
easier. And sometimes, by the way, like and again, this is something that's really valuable that women can bring to the table that I really respect, right? Because like I have this underlying feeling every time I'm doing something which spurs me on that I'm not enough, right? Everything I'm doing is not enough, right?
Yeah.
It's not good enough. What's the next thing? How can I be better, right? But if you have someone who genuinely believes in you and just is happy with like literally being there if you've got nothing, then that is immensely valuable.
Yeah.
And also sometimes it just takes that conversation with someone like for them to say, look how far you've come and we're proud of you, like it did with me in the early days. So I would say a cheerleader, 100%. But again, it all comes down to value. I know I can build it without them too. Like
Hmm.
it's like, but it's just a nice to have. If you build a relationship where it's mutual and you both have the same aligned vision and you share love throughout that and they bring out a femininity in me that I or an emotion, not necessarily a femininity, but an emotion that I couldn't tap into before. That's valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I think the two most important capabilities of a great woman is that she can bring peace. We men, like real men, not the wussies, but the real men, we are warriors. And it's great to let our shield down sometime and bring us
Yeah,
peace.
yeah,
That's priceless, and that would give us
yeah,
limitless energy. And the second capability is, of course, taking care of the children, raising them with love. That's the most beautiful thing that can happen.
I completely agree. No, I
Yeah,
mean, peace is so important as well. But yeah, you're 100% right.
I think we're on the same page. So, what I wanted to ask you, like, um, how the hell did you end up in Medellin? Because you came from UK, Leeds, and then you went to the college. And then, how did you end up in Medellin in Colombia?
Yeah, so I went through this like phase of like pretty much being in London the whole time
Yeah.
from like when I was like 17, right? so I kind of got used to the London life and always been there. And basically, I just got to a point where my purpose was no longer creating more wealth for myself. And I just started to hate London. I don't know what it was because everything was just about business. I felt a little bit trapped. So like in
Okay.
2023, like I just went on like a world tour basically. Like, but I was running the business at the same time because I wanted to. I'd never done it. I'd missed out on everything from like, I'd missed out on all the 17, 18, Ibiza trips and all that. Like, but I still. By the way, I rejected that notion because I didn't want to do it and I was broke. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I see people traveling that are broke as fuck and they're living in hostels, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand
Stay
the
home.
people. You don't understand the people you meet in hostels are fucking morons, like absolute fucking morons. And if you're with people 24 hours a day that are going absolutely nowhere in their life, sniffing drugs and fucking stinking the whole time, then where do you think you're going to end up, right? So I rejected the notion of doing that, and I thought I'm only traveling to the nth degree when I'm rich, right?
Yeah.
And so I just bided my time with that, and I was like, I'm going to do this in a fashion where I'm staying, eating at the best places, living in the best places, and doing the best experiences. And so that for
Hmm.
me, I could have done that at 20, but instead I just went on a tear in London and just fucking partied the whole time. But my like my calling was the 20 when I was in 2023. I was like, I'm just going to try. I'm just going to travel. So I did 24 countries in a year.
That's
It's
quite
like
a
one
lot.
every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I fucking balled out, man. I balled out. Like, I went to the Monaco F1. I was boating. I was
Oh,
partying. Like,
wow.
I watched the Monaco on a super yacht. Like, it was balling out like to the nines, right? Like, I've lived a
Hmm.
lot of life. Lived a lot of life for
Yeah.
a 26-year-old man. Probably
Yeah.
more than most
Yeah.
in their entire life. And so,
Yeah, you
so I did
definitely
it
made
all.
up for the time you missed when you were like the couple
Yeah.
of pizza trips you missed.
I did it all, and like I'm glad to say I've never been in a hostel, and I'll never be in there, and none of my kids will ever be there. None of my children will ever be in a hostel. It's not fucking happening. It's just disgusting.
It's
And so,
disgusting. Is there
okay,
like a story behind this hate for hostels, or
no,
it's
I
just
mean, look, we have this
did
internal.
something happen to you?
No, nothing happened, right? It's just. I look at ratios, right, and I'll speak to anybody.
Ratios?
I look at
Yeah.
ratios. I'll speak to anybody, but if I meet people that I just think are absolute fucking clowns, 8 times out of 10 they go to
They're
hostels or
staying
they're
in a
living in a
hostel.
hostel. Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
so I look at the common denominator
You
and I'm like,
connected the
right,
dots. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's the issue here. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I don't have a
Okay.
hatred. I don't feel any type of way. It's just I'm
No,
a
no,
very
no.
black and white person. If I really
Yeah.
don't like something, I'll make it very apparent to them and to the system. And if I love someone, I'll do anything. I'll jump in front of a fucking car for him. You know what I mean, and make it happen. But yeah. So I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah. So
Like
that
that.
was that. So it's 2023,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and basically I was in Peru, right? I was in Peru, and
Okay.
I just had because like in 2024 I did a full year sobriety, no drinking alcohol. But in
All right.
2023 I was like I wasn't partying all the time, but I'd just been out on a nice party because there was like a business milestone we'd hit or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was a little bit hungover. I was in the gym the next day, and I was like talking to my mother on the phone. I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna come back to London, and I'm gonna come see you guys in Leeds, and and like I'd done all the Machu Picchu and all that cool stuff, all the mountains and stuff in Peru anyway. And so I
Nice.
was like, look, um, I'm gonna come back like tomorrow, fly to London and whatnot. She's like, you really wanted to go to Colombia your entire life, like you're literally like 2 or 3 hours away from Colombia. Why don't you go? So I was like, oh, that's actually a really good point. So I built up this travel plan in my mind. I was like, right, I'm gonna travel to the end of the year. I'm gonna go to Colombia. I'm gonna go to Argentina, and then I'm gonna go to Brazil, right? And at this
Okay.
time, I was dating a girl from Monaco, right? So I was dating a girl from
Oh
Monaco.
yeah.
And she's like joking to me, like, you're never going to come back from Colombia if you go there because it's so beautiful, the women there. That's exactly what happened. Like, I just went.
She was right.
Yeah, I just went to Colombia and never came back. Like my mother feels bad because she like told me to go to Colombia and I never came back. Which obviously I do go back to the UK. I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
back in a
yeah.
couple of months.
Yeah.
But
It's funny
like
that she recommended it and now it
she
became your
recommended
place
it.
where you live.
I've lost my boy now. I'm like, look, mum, if it wasn't Colombia, it would have been somewhere else. So just thank
Yeah,
God it's not
yeah.
Australia, you know, like the furthest way it could be.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so yeah, and I came to Colombia. I absolutely loved it. Did all the sort of tourist stuff. You know, I had all of the local produce from a food and also women's side of things and the parties and whatnot. And then I literally didn't end up going to Brazil or Argentina until the end of the year.
Okay.
Stayed here, went back to the UK, packed my bags, and came here. And I've been here for 2 years. So um, that's the story, man. It's kind of impulsive, but that's my entire life on a plate. Like I'm impulsive, and that's what I do. So yeah,
And what makes Medellin so special? Because I also, like, I know Joran, and I visited him when he was living in Thailand, and he had a
yeah,
pretty decent life. And I'm still in love with Thailand, and the place where he lived was like
yeah,
phenomenal. But still, he's
yeah,
like, no, no, Colombia is home. I love Colombia.
yeah.
So, what's
Yeah.
your reasoning?
So there's a lot more things to Colombia than people think, right?
Hmm.
So you know, you see all these memes online. It's like beautiful girl says Papacito, and then you're on the next
Yeah, yeah,
plane. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. The plane, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I saw
You
that
get
one.
you get past that very quickly, right? You get past that very quickly because beauty is everywhere in this country, everywhere. Like
Mm,
I
mm.
mean, like if my heart went every time I saw a beautiful beautiful woman, like I would be beating 175 beats per minute all day and have a heart attack. Yeah, you know, it's everywhere, and so you get past that very very quick. Yeah, but big one is the food. Food is amazing. Like very like it's all local, not imported. All that shit. Like
Yeah,
like amazing,
it's real food.
right? Yeah, real food. People amazing. Like just the way that they treat you. Like you know, you can be 5 a.m. in the morning in the UK, and you know people are just like focused like this, like really angry, in
Yeah,
Europe and whatnot. And you know, like over here, they're just so nice. You speak to anyone, and like they'll speak to you, and you know, it's actually crazy. Like I walk my dog, and she's beautiful, and people like I'll go on a 1 hour walk and it takes like 3 hours because the amount of people that stop you. It's actually quite challenging,
amazing.
which is cool. But so there's that, and then like for me when I was in the UK, because I have a lot of clients in the US as well. I was working not only going to the US a lot, but actually working like until like 1 a.m. in the morning all the time. So like over here, I'm on US time zone, and New York and Miami are like 3 hours away. So it's
Yeah.
perfect. Weather is perfect. It's never never cold, apart from right now,
Hmm.
even though it's 18 degrees, but it's like
Yeah,
cloudy.
cold. Yeah.
But like it's always sunny every day, and it's hot, it's like warm, but not too warm. It's like 20 to 30 every day, minimum, like between. Um, and yeah, like it generally just is home. And I think if I was in a place like you know Thailand and Asia and whatnot, I just think the
Yeah.
time difference is like, it's a great place. The time distance and difference, and also the mode of life is different. Like you go on to easy mode and you go on to beach mode. And Medellin, by the
Mm.
way, they are building a beach for 2027, but there's no beach in Medellin. It's a city,
No.
right?
How are they going to
Um,
build beach?
well, artificial, same way that a lot of people do. A lot of them doing like UA and things like that. You can build artificial beaches,
Yeah.
you know, import the sand and whatnot. But yeah, they are building a beach, which I'm sure will be pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, this place has the balance of everything. Like it's home for me, and like I've felt happier here than I ever did in the UK ever.
Yeah.
Just got that vibe to it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about that vibe and that feeling. Like there are many different aspects that make up that feeling, but you can just feel at home somewhere and you know like this clicks.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think about the UK and the direction it's heading? Because you don't hear many good stories about UK at the moment.
Well, everyone's cottoning on to how it's going right now. You know, you get
Yeah.
the slow movers who are starting to leave right now. But like,
Yeah.
I saw it years ago. I
Yeah.
saw it years ago. Like that's why I
Like
left. I
this
mean,
is heading the wrong way. Yeah.
you know, I like to think of successful entrepreneurs can predict trends. Like it took me
Mm.
3 years ago, I left the UK to travel, and then 2 years I've been here. And
Hmm.
I knew after the COVID stuff, like the way that it was dealt with in the UK, this place is fucking cooked, like cooked. Like you have in Downing Street, they're all partying, all the government, but people can't even go out to buy some groceries and shit and go for a longer walk than 1 hour or for a run that's 2 hours. You know, like
Yeah.
I just looked at it and I thought, this is bollocks. Like I reject this notion altogether.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a case of like leave straight away, but it was like plan an exit plan of where do I go, right? And that happened to end up being Colombia. But like the way that the UK is going right now is the wealth is leaving, the taxes are increasing, and the actual like safety of the UK is cooked. Like it's fucked. Like
Yeah.
you can't wear watches, you can't drive fast cars. There's people killing each other on a day to day basis that you don't see in the news. You know, there's people that are fucking getting driving offences that are going to prison for longer than fucking paedophiles.
It's
You
insane.
know, it is absolutely ridiculous, and I
Yeah.
mean, I don't vocalize it enough. But like instead of vocalizing it and trying to change what is ultimately not in my power to change right now, I just went. I'm gone. Like I refuse to bring my children up there when I have children,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
refuse to be a part of that bullshit. It's not happening. And I try and urge my family to do the same, but you know, at the end of the day, everyone's going to live their own life. And obviously, I understand that my parents have their parents as well, and that's a different story. And they grew up in a different England to what I see right now.
Hmm.
But I do not want any part of it. And by the way, the people there are fucking miserable in Europe.
Yeah.
Like I go up maybe once or twice a year, and then I get my parents to come here, and my family to come to Colombia. So we probably see each other, you know, maybe a little bit less this year because I've been really locked in. It's been a bit harder, but like 3, 4 times, 5 times a year, you know, even more moving forward. Um, but like every time I go to the UK, like I get off the plane and I feel like shit. And then you go into the
Yeah.
airport,
It's
you
just
go
the
into the
energy, right?
airport,
It's just like you,
energy.
nothing has happened,
People
just the
fucking
energy.
hate, everyone fucking hates the life.
Yeah.
Everyone's like working for the weekend so they can sniff
Yeah.
fucking cocaine on a weekend and in a pub where they can complain about pints and complain about what's going on with their favorite football team, which is
Yeah.
massively fucking gay anyway. Like if you like sat there just letting that
I
drive your
couldn't agree
emotions.
more. I couldn't agree more.
Like people let external factors drive their emotion, and it's just gay. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah,
like
it's
you're a grown man at the end of the day.
yeah.
Why don't you just take control of yourself? Stop trying to run away from your relationship and that you've been, you know, your wife wears the pants in, and be happy and like actually have a masculine frame about you. And that's the problem is there's no masculinity in the UK hardly left.
Of course
So
not. Because
we've let
then if that
femininity
was the
drive over.
case, then this would not have happened, you know?
Look
Because they
at
were like some
Poland.
strong men.
Yeah, look at
Exactly.
Poland.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're like,
they're not
no.
letting it. Yeah, they're not letting everyone in on run it rubber dinghies and fucking you know, like creating chaos, which is a lot of the crime in the UK. And oh, the crime rates are down. Nothing. Whereas
Yeah,
the UK
exactly.
cook, I mean, it's really like I'm really forceful about it, but like at the end of the day, the masculine feminine balance is gone. Like we're letting
Hmm.
you know the women drive the decisions of the men, and you know for me it's like why is everyone like sad because they live a
Hmm.
life they hate, they live a life that's a lie, and they think that being that complaining about the previous week's going to make them feel better, but it's just downward spiral. And everyone,
Yeah.
like 99% of the UK is cooked, and that's why I just will not go back and live there.
Yeah. I completely agree. And I think the UK is the number one place where in Europe where stuff is fucked up. but I think Belgium is definitely number two. It's yeah, I made a couple reels about it, and those were the ones that went viral. With Joran, I had like my other reels do like 2,000, 3,000 views, and that one had like almost 200,000 views because that just
Oh God.
shows how fucked up Belgium is and how many people hate their life at the moment. And
Well, I
like you
mean,
said,
I hope mine don't go viral now because
no.
I'm very close to it. But
Well,
I mean,
I'm
look, I
very
keep to
eager to
myself.
clip it. I'm very eager to clip that one, but nothing without your permission, of course. But I think that
Yeah,
would be a very good one.
if I say something, I stand by it. So at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I said it, and like I've said it. That's what I believe, and everything I say is not with malice. It's with like I look at data, and data forms an
yeah,
opinion, and you cannot
yeah.
argue with data.
No, exactly. And I think I agree with you that the feminine approach is wrong. Like we try to make a place where everybody's welcome, that doesn't work. You know, you have to be hard, you have to be masculine. Like if you want to enter our country, you have to deserve it. And that's very
Yes.
masculine, but that's gone right now. And I think this
Yep.
feminine approach of, everybody's welcome, let's have fun. Oh, if you don't want to work, you don't have to pay. That's
Mm.
okay. We'll pay for
No.
you. We'll give you everything you want. No, that's ridiculous. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's where you get criminals from. If you let criminals in your country and you're just saying like, yeah, you don't even have to work, that's gonna make it's going to break your country. And I think that's what's happening in entire of Europe. I'm still living in Europe, though on the edge of Europe. I'm in the south. I'm in Spain at the moment. But yeah, I have my escape plan ready because I think stuff is going to shit really, really soon.
Honestly, I don't think Spain's actually that bad. To be honest, I don't think it's
At
as
the moment,
bad.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Spain is great. I lived in Portugal and
Yeah.
Spain, and those places are still very traditional, culture, strong
Yeah,
beliefs. Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I stayed in Valencia for a long time.
Oh,
Um, I,
I live very close to Valencia.
I'm a massive
Yeah.
fan. Like just the way it's run, even down to the way that they police it. Right, it's just the right way to do things. And so, like,
Definitely.
I think I do think that's like a nice place to be. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the best in Europe. Maybe apart from Poland, but there it's very cold. So that's why I don't like to go there. Oh man, very cool. I got just a few questions left because I don't want to take too much of your time. But like since you're an investor in Joran's company, I guess health must be a very important part of your life. Could you elaborate more on that topic?
Health, yeah. Well, it wasn't until like 2 years ago until I met Jorn.
Ah,
Like,
right.
yeah, like I just worked until I got ill every time. It's like
Okay.
I literally worked until it was like I have to go to bed, otherwise I'm literally gonna
Yeah.
fall over.
Yeah.
And so like that was like the part of me that was broken. Like I was like no health at all. Yeah, it was funny because like the like there's certain foods that when I met Jorn, like he would say, "Have you had that before?" I'm like, "What's that?" Like because
Yeah.
it was just alien to me. It was
It's
alien to
like,
me.
but Yarn is like a wizard. He's like an
Yeah,
alien, you know.
but there was like simple stuff like
Ah,
bone
okay.
marrow. I didn't even know what
Oh,
bone marrow was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, okay. Then
I didn't
you're
even know
the
what that
alien
was.
then.
Yeah, yeah. So he introduced me to all these things, but he also explained I worked with Jon and he actually coached me for like a year before we started to
Nice,
progress, and obviously now we're business partners and whatnot. So I've realized that being the richest man in the graveyard is not the objective, and
for sure.
now I work like I still work very hard. Like I'm not gonna like say that I don't, but I work in a way where it's kind of like just a little bit more for me, right? And it serves me instead of break me, And by the way, I still work in the same way. Like I still work until I feel like I'm getting brain fog. Like I will,
Yeah.
I just go on a holiday when I do that to recharge and eat the right things. And I eat the right things every day now, right? So it's like I let myself have further longevity by eating and training right. But then
Hmm.
I recognize when I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm ready to break, but like I don't get there, right? Because I'm like, right, now is the time to have some self-care time, which I didn't realize before.
Hmm.
And so he helped me understand how to basically like program my mind and use things that help me go further and faster eating was a massive one because I used to eat one meal a day and it was a sandwich every day. That's all I ate.
Oh, yeah, 1 meal a day is not that bad, but if it's a sandwich,
Well,
then
well,
you're
well, the thing is, like, I do the peptides and things now, and I can do one meal a day, but that one meal is very nutritious, right? And everything I need. So like
nice.
I'll have
Yeah,
one or maximum two a day. But like when you're having like a Subway sandwich like one time a day and that's it, and you're doing that every day, like it's fucked. Like you got like
yeah,
I don't even know how I managed to operate when I was like younger. It was like coffee, sandwich, and nothing else
yeah,
every day. And
yeah.
I think even some days I try I cut it even. It was not even a sandwich; it was a crisp sandwich some day. Like
It
you
sounds
get a bag
terrible.
of crisps, you get a bag of
Oh
crisps,
no, oh no.
and you just put the bread.
I don't think I
Um,
ever done that.
no. I've been in some bad scenarios with my health. Not necessarily with my health, but like as in with the way I've treated my health over the
Yeah, yeah,
years
yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah.
in favor of business. And now I'm much more. No, I understand because I've been through working with Yarn, but I also like the peptide stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
this is all stuff that like I know how to grow a multi-million dollar company. You give me any company, whether it's failing or not, I know how to turn it around, right? Whether
yeah.
it starts with product or whether it's the marketing system, yeah.
Hmm,
Because if
hmm,
product's shit, you can't market anyway. So we start with products, and then we move to marketing, right?
hmm.
Um, give me any business on planet Earth, I can scale it, right, with AI and automate it. But like the thing with like if it's like completely new to me the industry, like before I got into peptides I knew absolutely nothing about it, so I have to like learn it first, and then I can scale it, and that's what I'm going to be doing here with the company. And you know, honestly, it's such a very exciting industry because it's, you know, right now, you know,
Definitely.
all the chemicals we're going to be, you know, they're for research purposes only, so we'll be doing research, and then um you know, when the FDA approve all this stuff, then we'll be able to, you know, launch it out to the open market for people to buy, and you know, have ours tested by the FDA, and it's a really early market which we could lead. So right now it's all you know, research, but
Yeah.
can't wait until we can launch it live and grow it to a, you know, a multi-million dollar company, and right the industry as it's so early.
Yeah, the cool thing about peptide, I don't know a lot about it yet. I just read a little bit and some podcasts, but the cool thing is that it's so diverse. Like you can take peptides for focus and to improve your brain health, but you can also take peptides to increase your muscles, for longevity, for your skin health. It's like so diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
definitely also for entrepreneurs it will be like a very interesting market. Yeah, pretty cool. Um, just a couple more short questions, and then I'm gonna leave you. Um, what do you think about the trend of like these AI automation agencies? Because you see this all the time, like so many course sellers in the AI automation agencies, and I believe the
Yeah.
course sellers make more money and they make the most money selling the course instead of running their agency. So
Of
what do you
course,
think
of
about
course.
what do you think about that trend?
Yeah, I mean, you can see straight through it. I mean, honestly, like there are certain people that I do see that I know do know the stuff.
Hmm.
You know, and I think that there comes a time with certain businesses where you have a core product that has a total addressable market of a certain batch of individuals or businesses, and then you have to start rejecting people that you can definitely help, and that's where I see the idea of having like a, you know, a community, right, or a, you know, a program plus community, right. I see the value in doing that, right.
Yeah, yeah,
And by the way, you know, that model itself is absolutely great for like one to many, right? You know, you can do
yeah,
workshops and things like that. You know, for
yeah, yeah,
example, for us, we've got like SaaS products, we have high ticket products, but then we also have lower ticket products, right? And we also have communities where people can, you know, join, pay a one time fee, and they can get all our automations. But we also have like walkthrough videos on them. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
you know, they're kind of like tutorials, but it's kind of like,
yeah,
you could say it's like a little course, right? But like, you
yeah.
know, the value is in the automations where they can just click and import them, yeah. So
Yeah, of course.
honestly, the way I see it, right, is I don't really, if someone hasn't got the credentials. Like if you research my name, you'll see I've been in technology for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And if you look through my LinkedIn, you'll see I've been in technology a long time. If you listen to my stuff, you know I know I'm talking about. But like, if I see someone selling a course on AI automation, then the ones that actually understand technology, it's very easy for them to decipher that they're talking shit, right? Because it's just like those same people, if they were like, if quantum computing came in and that became the next craze for everybody,
Yeah, they would have a
6 months
course on
later
quantum
they'll be doing
computing.
that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so like you can tell the bad actors, because they're always launching new stuff. I launch
Yeah.
one thing and I stick with it for years. You know,
Mm,
um,
mm.
you know, but like there's this craze online right now with direct response marketers where it's like launch a new thing and then go quiet for like 6 months and then do a massive another launch of another thing. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't really agree with that. And by the way, some of the biggest in the industry are doing that right now. Like it's like
Yeah.
launch one thing, do it on YouTube, massive premiere. No one hears from you for 6 months, and then do another one of completely different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm not naming any names, but like
I
it
know
just is
exactly what
the
you mean. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. This is what a lot of
yeah.
people do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so like I don't agree with that notion because they're always going to be jumping from one thing to another. But there are some really good people like that I can see are engineers, right? There's some people that are actually engineers, and it reflects in the quality of the content on YouTube, man. Like if I look at this stuff on YouTube and I see the building like actual workflows of AI agents, and they're not just
Yeah,
like talking about how much of an opportunity AI is, then
yeah,
that's the clear thing. Because if someone's talking about how much of an opportunity it is and they're not showing any real building, then they're just a hype beast. That's all it is. They're just hype,
yeah, yeah.
and that's just my thoughts on it basically.
Okay. All right. So, some ending thoughts. Like, if you could give one piece of advice to everyone listening to this podcast, what would that advice be?
I would just say, like, from a personal level, you just got to make sure your hunger to succeed is bigger than your uh, fear of failure. That's like the most important thing. Like
Nice.
every single thing in my life has come down to the fact that I want it more than I'm scared of other people, worried about people judging me and failing. And so
Yeah,
you need, as a person, to just make sure your hunger is much higher than your ability to fear failure.
that's very well said. Amazing. Where can people find you if they're looking for you?
Yeah, so Elliott Rayne on all platforms, other than Instagram, Elliott_Rayne, so same thing.
All right.
And that's it basically.
Nice and easy. Amazing. Elliot, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. It was a great episode. I learned a lot, and you have a great story, man. And I feel we're going to hear a lot more from you.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Try.
Thank you. Hey there, listener. If you enjoyed this podcast, there's a great chance that you and me have some similarities. Maybe you also want to create a life with more freedom. Maybe you don't want to be stuck in one location all the time. Maybe you want to have more time to spend with friends, family, your wife, your partner, your kids. Who knows? Well, if you don't know where to start and this is your goal, don't worry. I'm here to help because I used to be stuck as well. I used to be stuck in my business. I used to hate my job. I used to not have any energy or passion to achieve my goals. And I used to not make the amount of money I wanted to make. And let me tell you, everything has changed now. I can literally say that I'm living my dream life. And I want to help others achieve the same thing. That's really what I want to do. That has become my goal because I have an online business and I make a good amount of money. But the impact that I can make by changing someone else's life, that gives me true fulfillment. So if you want to achieve your goals, if you want more freedom in your life, I have a free course, an entirely free course where I go and explain to you step by step how I achieved this life. And it was a very messy process when I went through it myself, but after thinking about it for a very long time, I made the steps very, very clear. And it's literally a process that you can follow to exit this matrix that we call life and to really start living life as it was supposed to be. So check out the link in the description where you can join our community and follow the free course. And I hope you get some value out of it. And I hope to see you in the next podcast episode. Bye bye.